Hey everybody, it's Shawn here. I wanted to take a moment and show you a program that I use while I'm doing my backups. It's called Microsoft SyncToy 2.1. This program allows you to make a bit-to-bit backup of your data. Now here we're going to go to Microsoft.com. And on the search bar here we're going to type in SyncToy. Here at the top you see we have SyncToy 2.1. We're going to go in there and take a look at it. Now here you can click download and download it to your PC. I'm not going to do that here because I already have it installed. So we're going to go take a look at how I use it and the settings that I have, and perhaps you could use as well. So here's SyncToy. It's a very simple program. It will make a copy of folder pairs. You make a left folder and a right folder, as you can see here, and you will copy files based on certain rules you have. You can have them copy from left to right. You can have them synchronize and echo, and we'll take a look at those in a moment. Over here on the left, you have your different sync folder pairs that you've created. Here I have an external drive backup. That one will back up my B drive, which is an external drive, to an N drive, which is an external drive, and it's making an exact copy. Here I have Lightroom, and this is a backup of my Lightroom catalog backup files themselves, and then I have those back up to a program called Box. You can go to box.com, take a look at that. Down here I have Lightroom catalogs, and this is my actual catalog files. I create a new catalog each year, so I have my various catalogs saved here, and they also back up to box.com. So just taking a look in here at Lightroom catalogs, you can see that I have folder pairs, left folder and right folder, and this is where my catalogs are stored for locally here on my machine, so I can, every time I open Lightroom, I'm accessing one of these catalog files. Then here I have the SyncToy action set to echo, and what that's going to do is it's going to say anything in the left folder, we're going to echo it into the right folder. So any changes, any deletes that I make in the left folder will be echoed into the right folder. I can come here, I can change that action, and here are the three main settings that you have in SyncToy. You can synchronize, and we'll click that and it'll kind of give us a short explanation that I'll read. It says new and updated files are copied both ways. Renames and deletes on either side are repeated on the other side. So that means if you have any changes you make into your left folder, it will make those into your right folder as well. So if I change the name of one of my catalogs over here, it's going to change it over here. But it also means that if I'm in my right folder and I make any changes or deletes, it's going to copy it back toward the left folder. I generally don't do that. I work with just my left folder as being my main folder, and my right folder is just being backup. So we'll also take a look here at Contribute, and this one, it says new and updated files are copied left to right. Renames on the left are repeated to the right, no deletions. So that means anytime you delete a file on your left, it's not going to delete it on the right. It's going to keep it kind of like an archive. So you're just always building it, and then the right folder is going to end up being much larger because it never deletes anything. So the one that I pick is I pick Echo, and here it says new and updated files are copied left to right. Renames and deletes on the left are repeated on the right. So that means anything that I do in this left folder, it's going to echo it and place it in this right folder. Down here there's other options you can do, and we'll take a look at those. These are slightly advanced, and these are files to exclude. I just do straight copies one folder to the other, and I don't worry about it too much. Now down here there is this active for run all. I'll show you that really quick. So under here we have all folder pairs, and you can see they're all checked active. So I can come down here to the lower right and click run all, and it's going to run everything that's checked. Now if there's some folder pairs that I don't need to back up as often, because this does take a long time to do a backup, because it's doing it bit for bit, so every little change you make. So if you add 32 gigabytes of pictures to your main drive, it's going to have to copy that 32 gigs over to the other side. But let's say there's a folder that you don't change that often, and you don't want it to waste the time to go and check that folder, see the changes and all that. You can come into whatever folder pair you have, change options, and say, don't make that active for run all. You can go through and do those manually. So now you can see here I uncheck that, I go into folder pairs, and that one's just not checked. Now I come in here manually and I can check and uncheck whatever I want. it's just for when you first open it, what is checked, mainly checked. These particular 3 things, I want them backed up all the time, so I will keep them saved for active for run all on all of them. Okay, here let's take a look and create a new folder pair. See how you do this. So here you have your left folder and your right folder. I'm going to start with the left folder. And I'm going to browse to a folder on my, it's on an external drive. And let's back up my videos. So I want to back up my video folder. So I select that folder and I click OK. So here you see the path that's on my external drive to my videos. So here on the right folder, I'm going to need to browse to where I want to save these new files. So I'm going to come here to browse, and I'm going to navigate to my N drive. That's where I want to save these files. And here within the N drive, I'm going to want to create a new folder. So this new folder, I'm going to name it My Videos. And then select that folder and hit OK. So now you can see that it's going to copy anything that's in the B drive, My Library, My Video, into this N drive, My Video folder, and I click Next. Now I get the option to select what kind of synchronization I want to do. Now since I'm partial to echo, I'm going to click Echo and click Next. Now here you name it. This is just for your own use. You can see here I have names, external drive, Lightroom catalog, whatever. So this one I'm just going to name it My Videos. Okay, now we're done with that. We'll click Finish. And so here it is. Now I can click Run and run it, and it will apply all the rules that I asked it to apply and copy bit by bit every file that I have in those folders. You can see here I can go to All Folder Pairs, and here it is. Now let's say I don't want to back up my videos every single time I run SyncToy. So perhaps under that I'm going to select, uncheck the active for run all, because I don't want to back up my videos every single time. And like I said, I can always go in there and manually change these, but this way I don't have to remember what I normally back up. So then maybe once a month I'll come in and I'll back up my videos. But then you can do individual backups. You can run individual folder pairs by coming up here, and I'm going to click My Videos, and I'm going to click Run. So now what SyncToy does is it's going to start copying all those files. Now since this is the first time I've ever run it for this particular folder pair, it's just going to run. Now the second time I do this, it's going to take some time because it's going to go through my left folder and check to see if there were any changes. It writes a little file that it hides in each folder pair, and it's kind of its database to see what files are changing and didn't change. So it will then run through and check, see, okay, file A changed, file B didn't, file C didn't, so I need to just update file A. So at first it will run through and it will just check all those files, it will check for any changes, and then it will apply the actions to the appropriate files. Do I delete this file from the right folder? Do I rename it? Is it slightly different in any way? And then it will go through and do that, and then it will go through and start copying or renaming or deleting files as appropriate. Then up here you have your little run results, and you can watch these numbers creep up as you go through. Each file here is taking a little longer because these are big video files, some of which are gigabytes in size. And then at the end, sometimes you'll have failed files. Those are often if you have a file that is being used by another application and it can't gain access to that, but those often don't happen. So usually successful and total will end up being the same. So basically that's how you run SyncToy. I use it for backing up all my photos. After every time I dump some photos into my hard drives, I will run SyncToy before I erase my cards, because it's always a good idea to have several copies of each photo before you delete them off the memory card. I will generally have at least 2 copies locally before I delete anything off my memory card, and then one of those copies will then be copied up to the cloud. So I'll have 3 copies, 1 off-site and 2 on-site, so that way I'm not worried about losing any of my photos. I hope you guys found this useful, and if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comment section below. Also, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Down in the description below, I also have links to SyncToy and my various social media websites. So thanks for your time, and let me know if there's anything I can do to help you make better photos. Thanks.